The long-awaited return. The vast emptiness of space stretched out before Captain Elara Kane and her crew. Their spaceship, the Aegis, moved silently through the dark expanse, its sleek hull gleaming under distant stars. It had been 3,000 years since Earth had been lost to the alien invaders, and today was the day of reckoning. Elara stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display in front of her. The image showed a bleak and battered Earth, a planet left in ruin by a ruthless enemy. Her heart ached as she saw the scars of war, the once blue oceans now darkened and dry, and the remains of cities long forgotten. Her people had spent centuries preparing for this moment, and it was finally here. "Captain, we're approaching the outer edge of the Earth's atmosphere," said Lieutenant Marcus, his voice breaking through the tension. He was a tall man with a stern face, his eyes fixed on the monitors. His voice was steady, but Elara could sense the same mix of excitement and nervousness that she felt. Elara nodded. "Prepare for descent," she ordered, her voice calm but firm. The crew moved swiftly, their actions precise and practiced. This was no ordinary mission. It was a journey of vengeance, a quest to reclaim their lost world. As the Aegis entered the atmosphere, the view from the bridge changed. The blue and green planet became visible, but it was not the vibrant world they remembered. The once thriving cities were now ghostly remnants, and the forests were little more than ash. The sight was both breathtaking and heart-wrenching. "Captain, we're getting readings of active signals on the surface," said Engineer Lara, her voice tinged with surprise. "It seems like there's some sort of structure still standing." Elara's eyes narrowed. Could it be one of our old bases, or something the aliens left behind? "Hard to tell from here," Lara replied, "but we should investigate." The Aegis descended slowly, landing in a desolate area surrounded by the remains of ancient buildings. The landing gear touched down with a soft thud, and the crew prepared to disembark. Elara led them out, her boots crunching on the dry, cracked earth. As they stepped onto the surface, a sense of history and loss enveloped them. Elara took a deep breath, trying to steady her emotions. This was their home, and it had been destroyed by the alien forces that had driven them away. "Stay alert," Elara instructed. "We don't know what we might encounter." The crew moved cautiously through the ruins, their eyes scanning for any signs of life or danger. The air was thick with dust and the remnants of old technology. They found what looked like a small fortified outpost. It was old but surprisingly intact. Inside the outpost, they discovered a series of ancient records and communication devices. Elara's heart skipped a beat as she saw the familiar symbols of Earth's old military insignia. It was a reminder of the world they had lost and the people they had left behind. "Captain, look at this," said Marcus, holding up a dusty datapad. "It's a log from one of our old commanders. It might have information about what happened here." Elara took the datapad and activated it. The screen flickered to life, displaying a recorded message from a long-dead officer. The message was filled with distress and desperation, recounting the final days before the aliens overran the planet. "They knew they were losing," Elara said quietly, "but they fought until the end." The message ended with a plea for survival, a final wish for humanity to one day return and reclaim their home. It was a solemn reminder of their mission's importance. As the team explored further, they found evidence of a small group of survivors who had managed to live in a harsh environment. These survivors had adapted to the alien-controlled world and had survived in secret. They were not what the humans had expected. There was no sign of the advanced alien technology that had been anticipated. Elara gathered her team to discuss their findings. "It looks like there are still people here, but they've been living under extreme conditions. We need to find out more about them and see if we can work together." The crew prepared to make contact with the survivors, their emotions a mix of hope and apprehension. The thought of meeting others who had survived the destruction of Earth was both thrilling and daunting. As the sun set over the ruined landscape, Elara stood alone, looking out at the horizon. The sky was streaked with colors of orange and red, a stark contrast to the devastation below. She thought about the journey that had brought them here and the future that lay ahead. The return to Earth was not just about revenge. It was about finding a new beginning, rebuilding what had been lost, and honoring those who had fought so hard to protect their world. With a deep breath, Ilara turned back to her team. The time for vengeance was just beginning, but it was also a time for understanding and forging new alliances. The future of Earth and the future of humanity was at stake. They were back, and this time, they were not leaving until they had reclaimed their home. The Hidden Alliance. The Aegis floated silently in space, its engines cool and its lights dimmed. Captain Ilara Kane sat at the command table, her fingers drumming lightly as she reviewed the latest reports. The Earth mission had uncovered more than expected, and the challenge was far from over. "Captain, the survivors we found on Earth have requested a meeting," said Lieutenant Marcus, entering the room with a concerned look. "They say they have important information." Ilara nodded, her eyes narrowing. "Set up the meeting. We need to understand what we're dealing with." In a secure conference room, the survivors from Earth, now calling themselves the Earthborn, awaited the arrival of the human team. They were a small group, their clothes worn and patched but functional, their eyes wary yet hopeful. Ilara and her senior officers entered the room. The Earthborn leader, a grizzled man named Ray, stepped forward and extended a hand. "Captain Kane, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Ray Carter." Ilara shook his hand firmly. "Ray, we've seen some of your people's survival efforts. We need to know more about what you've experienced and how we can work together." Ray nodded. "We've been waiting for this day for a long time. After the invasion, we formed a network of survivors. We've managed to keep the aliens at bay and gather intelligence on their activities." He gestured to a large map displayed on a screen. The map showed various regions of Earth, marked with alien bases and zones of conflict. The aliens have divided the planet into zones. Some areas are heavily fortified, while others are more vulnerable. We've been gathering data and mapping out their defenses. Ilara studied the map, her mind racing. "We need to know the strengths and weaknesses of these alien zones. How can we strike effectively?" Ray pointed to a specific area on the map. "This zone is key. It's where they're keeping their main command center. If we can take it down, we might be able to break their control over the planet." Ilara turned to her team. "This is our target. We need to gather more intel and prepare for a coordinated strike." Ray continued, "We've also managed to salvage some of their technology. It's not as advanced as yours, but it might give us an edge." "Show us what you have," Ilara said. The Earthborn led the team to a storage area where various pieces of alien technology were carefully stored. The humans examined the equipment, noting its potential uses and limitations. The technology was rudimentary compared to what the humans had developed, but it could still be useful. "Thank you for this," said Ilara. "Your efforts are invaluable. We'll integrate this technology into our plans." The Earthborn leader nodded. "We've been living in the shadows, but we want to help. We need to take back our planet and rebuild. We have a deep knowledge of the land and the aliens' behavior. Together, we can succeed." Ilara agreed. "We'll work together to devise a strategy. But first, we need to address our immediate challenges. The aliens will be aware of our presence soon, and we must be prepared." As the meeting concluded, Ilara felt a renewed sense of purpose. The survivors' knowledge and resilience were key assets. The alliance with the Earthborn marked a significant turning point in their mission. Back on the Aegis, the team began preparing for the upcoming operation. Engineers worked on integrating the alien technology into their systems, while strategists and analysts developed detailed plans for the assault on the command center. Ilara visited the Earthborn's camp to discuss the upcoming mission in more detail. The camp was a mix of makeshift shelters and repurposed technology. Despite the harsh conditions, the Earthborn were determined and resourceful. Ray met with Ilara in a temporary command center, surrounded by maps and communication equipment. We've set up scouting teams to monitor alien movements. We'll provide real-time updates during the operation. Ilara looked around the room. Your people have done remarkable work. We'll combine your knowledge with our technology to execute a precise strike. Ray nodded. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Our people are ready to fight for their home. Ilara's thoughts turned to the upcoming battle. The combined efforts of her team and the Earthborn would be crucial. Their mission was not just about revenge, but about securing a future for their planet and its people. As night fell over the Earthborn camp, Ilara stood outside, looking at the distant stars. The vastness of space seemed less daunting now, with their plan taking shape and their new allies by their side. The upcoming operation was a critical step in their mission. Success would mean reclaiming Earth and bringing justice for the thousands who had suffered. Failure was not an option. Ilara turned back to the camp with a determined expression. The alliance was strong, and the plan was in motion. With the combined strength of the humans and the Earthborn, they were ready to face the challenges ahead and take the fight to the aliens. The return to Earth was only the beginning. The real battle was about to start, and this time, humanity was ready to reclaim what had been lost. The City of Survival. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the ruins of what was once a bustling city. Captain Ilara Kane and her team had traveled far from their landing site to reach the city of the Earthborn survivors. As they approached, the full extent of the city's condition became clear: crumbling buildings and abandoned streets, but with hints of life amid the decay. "Captain, we're nearing the coordinates," said Lieutenant Marcus, glancing at the display on his wrist. "The readings suggest that there are still people living here." Ilara nodded. "Good. Let's proceed with caution." The team disembarked from the Aegis and followed a makeshift path leading into the heart of the city. The air was thick with dust, and the silence was occasionally broken by distant, eerie sounds. The survivors had managed to build a semblance of normalcy in this desolate place, and their resilience was evident in the way they had adapted to their environment. As they entered the city, they were met by a small group of Earthborn, their faces marked by weariness, but also a glimmer of hope. The leader of the group, a woman named Maya, stepped forward to greet them. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent, and she carried herself with a quiet strength. "Welcome to New Haven," Maya said, her voice steady. "We've been expecting you." Ilara returned the greeting with a nod. "Thank you, Maya. We've come to learn more about your city and how we might work together." Maya led them through the city's gates and into the heart of New Haven. The city was a patchwork of salvaged materials and repurposed technology. Makeshift homes lined the streets, and gardens were carefully tended in what used to be public parks. Despite the harsh conditions, the Earthborn had created a functional and thriving community. "This city has been our refuge," Maya explained as they walked. "We've built it up over the years using whatever we could find. It's not perfect, but it's home." Ilara marveled at their ingenuity. "You've done an impressive job. It's clear that you've adapted well to the challenges." Maya smiled slightly. "We've had to. The aliens are relentless, but we've learned how to stay hidden and survive. We use old Earth technology combined with some of the aliens' own tech to keep ourselves safe." The team toured various parts of New Haven, observing how the survivors had organized their daily lives. There were areas for growing food, making repairs, and training for defense. The city's defenses were a mix of old-fashioned barriers and modern technology, showing the blend of human resourcefulness and adaptation. As they moved through the city, Ilara and her team noticed how the Earthborn had created a sense of community and purpose. Despite their hardships, there was a spirit of cooperation and resilience among them. Children played in the streets, and adults went about their tasks with a determined focus. In the central square of New Haven, Maya gathered the community for a meeting with the visiting humans. The people listened intently as Maya spoke, explaining the recent developments and the importance of the alliance with the Aegis crew. "We've been given a chance to make a real difference," Maya said. The arrival of Captain Kane and her team brings new hope. They have the resources and the knowledge to help us take back our planet. The crowd responded with a mixture of cheers and cautious optimism. Ilara stepped forward, addressing the assembled Earthborn. "We're here to support you and to work together. Our goal is to reclaim Earth and secure a future for all of us. We need to combine our strengths and knowledge." The Earthborn's morale was lifted by Ilara's words. They began to discuss their plans and strategies, and Ilara could see the spark of hope in their eyes. The alliance between the returning humans and the Earthborn was starting to solidify, and the cooperation between them was becoming more tangible. Later, as the sun set and the city lights flickered on, Ilara stood on a high vantage point overlooking New Haven. The city's lights twinkled in the darkness, a beacon of human perseverance amid the ruins. Lieutenant Marcus joined her, looking out at the view. "It's impressive what they've managed to build here. It makes you realize just how strong the human spirit can be." Ilara nodded. "Indeed, their survival and ingenuity have given us a valuable ally. We need to make sure we use this opportunity wisely." The night was quiet, and the stars shone brightly above. Ilara took a moment to reflect on their mission. They had faced many challenges already, but the journey ahead would be even more demanding. The city of New Haven represented a crucial part of their plan to reclaim Earth. As the team prepared for the next phase of their mission, Ilara felt a renewed sense of determination. The Earthborn had shown that even in the darkest times, humanity's spirit could endure. Together, they would face the alien forces and work toward a future where Earth could once again thrive. The alliance was strong, and the path forward was clear. The real work was just beginning, and with their new allies by their side, Ilara was confident that they could overcome the obstacles ahead and restore their home. The alien stronghold. The moon hung low over the ruins of Earth, casting an eerie glow on the landscape. Captain Ilara Kane and her team stood at the edge of the alien stronghold, a massive fortress-like structure that dominated the skyline. It was the heart of the invaders' control, a grim reminder of their domination over the planet. Ilara's eyes scanned the structure through her binoculars. The stronghold was surrounded by high walls and fortified defenses. Alien technology bristled with energy fields and weapons, making it clear that any assault would be dangerous. "Captain, our scouts have reported that the stronghold's defenses are intense," said Lieutenant Marcus, his voice tense. "We need to approach this carefully." Ilara nodded. "We'll need a plan that maximizes our chances. We can't afford to be reckless." The team had been working closely with the Earthborn to develop a strategy. The information they had gathered pointed to a critical vulnerability in the stronghold's defenses, an access point that, while heavily guarded, offered a potential way inside. Maya, the Earthborn leader, joined Ilara and her team. "The access point you're targeting is known to us. It's a high-security area, but it's also where they control the stronghold's energy grid. If you can disable it, you'll weaken their defenses and create an opening." Ilara turned to her team. "We'll split into two groups. One will create a diversion to draw the alien forces away from the access point, while the other will infiltrate and disable the energy grid." The teams set off under the cover of darkness, moving silently through the ruins towards their respective objectives. Ilara led the infiltration team, their approach carefully coordinated to avoid detection. As they neared the access point, Ilara and her team encountered their first obstacle, a series of alien guards patrolling the area. The guards were heavily armed and wore armor that glowed with a faint blue light. Ilara signaled for her team to take cover behind a nearby wrecked vehicle. "We'll need to neutralize these guards quietly," Ilara whispered. "We can't afford to raise an alarm." The team moved with practiced precision, using tranquilizer darts and silent weapons to take down the guards without making a sound. Within minutes, the area was secure, and they proceeded to the access point. The entrance to the stronghold was a high-tech gate with intricate security mechanisms. Engineer Lara worked quickly to bypass the locks, her hands flying over the controls. The gate hissed open, revealing a dark corridor leading inside. Inside the stronghold, the team moved through the maze of corridors, following the schematic Maya had provided. The structure was a labyrinth of alien technology and ominous machinery. The air was filled with the hum of energy fields and the occasional flicker of alien lights. As they approached the energy grid control room, Ilara and her team encountered another group of alien guards. This time, they had to fight. The battle was fierce, with alien weapons discharging bolts of energy, and the team responding with precision shots. "We need to disable that energy grid," Ilara shouted over the chaos. "Focus on the control panel." Engineer Lara hacked into the control panel, her fingers flying over the interface. The alien technology was advanced, but Lara's expertise made quick work of it. Sparks flew as she cut through the security protocols, and the energy grid began to flicker and fail. "Grid is down," Lara announced, her voice filled with relief. "We've created an opening." With the energy grid disabled, the stronghold's defenses weakened. Ilara signaled the diversion team to move in. Their mission had been successful in drawing the alien forces away, creating the chance for the infiltration team to advance. As the diversion team engaged the aliens in a fierce battle, the stronghold's remaining defenses were less effective. Ilara's team pressed forward, making their way to the heart of the stronghold where the command center was located. Inside the command center, the team found rows of alien consoles and control panels. The room was buzzing with activity as alien personnel scrambled to respond to the attack. Ilara and her team fought their way through, taking out the remaining alien forces. Finally, they'd reached the central control console, a massive complex device that controlled the stronghold's operations. Ilara's team worked to disable it, ensuring that it could not be used to coordinate a counterattack. As they worked, the alien stronghold began to tremble. The damage to the energy grid and control systems was taking its toll. The building's structure shook, and alarms blared, signaling the imminent collapse of the stronghold's defenses. "We've done it," Ilara said, her voice filled with satisfaction. "The stronghold is ours." With their mission accomplished, the team made their way back to the Aegis. The alien stronghold, once a symbol of oppression, was now a testament to human resilience and teamwork. The battle had been fierce, but the victory was a crucial step in reclaiming Earth. As the team boarded the Aegis and prepared to leave, Ilara looked back at the ruins of the stronghold. The fight for Earth was far from over, but the success of this mission had given them a significant advantage. The journey ahead would be challenging, but with their new allies and their determination, Ilara was confident that they could overcome the obstacles and secure a future for their planet. The road to victory was long, but each step brought them closer to their goal. The final assault. The sun rose over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and red. Captain Ilara Kane and her team stood on the bridge of the Aegis, gazing down at the Earth below. The time had come for the final assault against the alien invaders. After weeks of preparation, the moment of truth had arrived. "Captain, all systems are ready," Lieutenant Marcus said, his voice steady. "We're set to launch the final attack." Ilara nodded, her expression serious. "Let's do this. We've come too far to turn back now." The Aegis descended towards the last major alien stronghold, a massive facility located in a remote region of Earth. This stronghold was the command center for the alien forces, and taking it down would be crucial for securing victory. The remaining alien forces had gathered here, preparing for a last stand. Ilara's team, along with the Earthborn fighters, had prepared a coordinated strike plan. The goal was to penetrate the stronghold's defenses, disable its command systems, and eliminate the alien leadership. The Earthborn had already provided valuable intelligence, revealing key weak points and defensive structures. Approaching target area, Marcus announced as the ship's sensors detected the stronghold's energy shields. "We're going to need to breach their defenses to get inside." The team deployed a series of small drones to scout the area and identify the best points of entry. The drones transmitted live feeds back to the Aegis, giving Ilara and her team a clear view of the stronghold's exterior. "Deploy the EMP charges," Ilara ordered. "We need to disable their shields before we can attack." The EMP charges were launched, and a bright flash illuminated the stronghold as the energy shields flickered and went down. The way was now clear for the assault. "Everyone ready?" Ilara asked, checking her equipment. Her team and the Earthborn soldiers prepared for the assault, their faces set with determination. The Aegis's weapons systems fired precision strikes at the stronghold's defenses, creating breaches in the outer walls. The team stormed through the gaps, engaging alien forces in a fierce battle. The air was filled with the sounds of blaster fire and the hum of energy shields. Ilara led the charge, her team following close behind. The alien forces fought back with desperation, their numbers overwhelming but their coordination faltering as the Earthborn and human forces pressed forward. The battle was intense, but the teamwork between the two groups made a significant difference. Inside the stronghold, the team navigated through a series of corridors and rooms, fighting their way towards the central command area. The stronghold's internal defenses were formidable, but the team's training and preparation allowed them to advance steadily. Ilara's communicator buzzed. "Captain, we've reached the command center," Marcus reported. "The alien leadership should be inside." The command center was a vast, high-tech room filled with alien consoles and holographic displays. At the center of the room, alien commanders were frantically trying to coordinate a defense. Their faces were a mix of fear and anger as they realized their situation was dire. Ilara's team burst into the command center, engaging the alien commanders in a final, decisive battle. The room erupted in chaos as blaster fire exchanged and explosions rocked the area. Ilara fought with fierce determination, her focus on taking down the alien leaders and ensuring the mission's success. "Disable their command systems," Ilara shouted to Lara, who was working on the control panels. Lara's fingers flew over the alien controls, her expertise evident as she hacked into the systems. The alien commanders fought desperately, but their efforts were in vain. With the command systems disabled, the stronghold's ability to coordinate its defenses was crippled. The remaining alien forces were thrown into disarray, their resistance faltering. As the final alien commander fell, the command center fell silent. The victory was hard-won, but it was complete. Ilara surveyed the room, her heart pounding with adrenaline. "It's done," Marcus said, joining Ilara. "The stronghold is ours." Ilara took a deep breath, allowing herself a moment of relief. The final assault had been successful, and the alien command structure was in ruins. The way was now clear for the restoration of Earth. Outside, the Aegis and the Earthborn forces celebrated their victory. The battle had been fierce, but the combined strength of the humans and Earthborn had proven unstoppable. The alien invaders were defeated, and the path to rebuilding Earth was now open. Ilara looked out over the battlefield, the sun setting in the distance. The fight had been long and difficult, but the victory was a testament to the strength and resilience of humanity. The alliance with the Earthborn had been crucial, and their shared determination had led to success. As the team prepared to return to the Aegis, Ilara felt a sense of accomplishment and hope for the future. The final assault had secured their victory, and now it was time to focus on rebuilding and restoring Earth. The journey had been challenging, but the success of the mission marked the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. With the alien threat neutralized and the Earthborn as allies, Ilara was confident that they could build a better future for their planet. The final assault was over, but the work ahead was just beginning. The road to recovery would be long, but with their victory secured, humanity was ready to face the challenges of rebuilding and moving forward. The hidden truth. The skies over Earth were clear for the first time in decades. The defeat of the alien invaders had brought a sense of cautious optimism. Captain Ilara Kane and her team were now focused on uncovering the last secrets of the alien stronghold. There was something in the command center's archives that had piqued their curiosity, a hidden truth that might explain the aliens' motives and how they had managed to dominate Earth so thoroughly. The Aegis hovered above the stronghold's ruins as Ilara and her team prepared to explore the archives. The stronghold's central data vault, heavily fortified and protected, had been left largely untouched during the battle. It was time to investigate what secrets it might hold. "Captain, we've located the data vault," Lieutenant Marcus said, pointing to a detailed map of the stronghold. "It's in a secure bunker below the command center. We'll need to breach it to access the files." Ilara nodded. "Let's get to it. We need to find out what the aliens were hiding." The team descended into the depths of the stronghold, navigating through dark corridors filled with remnants of the battle. The vault was a large metallic chamber with a thick, reinforced door. Engineer Lara worked on bypassing the lock, her skills crucial for accessing the heavily secured area. "Almost there," Lara said, her focus intense. The door hissed open, revealing a room filled with alien consoles and data storage devices. The air was cool and sterile, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. The team set to work, connecting their equipment to the alien data systems. The consoles flickered to life, displaying streams of alien data and cryptic symbols. Ilara watched as Lara worked to translate and decrypt the information. "This is incredible," Lara said, her voice filled with awe. "The amount of data here is enormous. It's going to take some time to make sense of it all." Ilara nodded, knowing the importance of the task. "We need to find out what the aliens were planning and why they came to Earth." As Lara and her team delved into the data, they uncovered information about the alien invasion. The files revealed that the aliens known as the Xilari had been searching for a new home for centuries. Their own planet had been devastated by environmental collapse and warfare, leaving them desperate for resources. According to these records, Lara said, the Xilari targeted Earth because they believed it had the resources they needed to rebuild their civilization. They didn't realize the full extent of Earth's own challenges and the strength of its inhabitants. Ilara's eyes widened as she read further. They were driven by desperation, not just aggression. Their invasion was a last-ditch effort to save their species. The data also revealed something more unsettling. The Xilari had developed a biological weapon designed to cripple Earth's ecosystems permanently. The weapon was intended to ensure that Earth's resources would be usable only by them, and would prevent any possible counterattack from humanity. "This is worse than we thought," Ilara said, her voice grim. The Xilari were not only here to conquer, but to ensure Earth was rendered uninhabitable for anyone else. Lara worked quickly to extract the most critical information, including details about the biological weapon and its deployment methods. The data showed that the weapon was still in the final stages of preparation, but it had not been activated yet. "We need to find a way to neutralize this weapon before it's too late," Ilara said, her mind racing. "We can't let them finish what they started." The team worked tirelessly to develop a plan. They would need to locate the weapon, disable its activation system, and ensure that it could not be used against Earth. The information from the vault was crucial for their next steps. As they prepared to leave the stronghold, Ilara took one last look at the data. The hidden truth had changed everything. The Xilari's desperation and their plans for Earth revealed the full scale of the threat they had faced. "Let's move," Ilara said, determination in her voice. "We've got a new mission. We need to make sure this weapon is dealt with and ensure that Earth remains safe." The team made their way back to the Aegis, ready to take action. The final battle had not only been about defeating the alien forces, but also about uncovering and stopping the catastrophic plans they had for Earth. As they flew back to their base, Ilara reflected on the challenges ahead. The hidden truth about the Xilari's plans had given them a clearer understanding of the threat, but it also meant that their fight was not yet over. The journey had been difficult, but their resolve was stronger than ever. With the information they had uncovered, they were prepared to face the next challenge and ensure that Earth's future was secure. The fight for Earth had taken a new turn, But with their new knowledge and determination, Ilara and her team were ready to confront the dangers ahead and protect their planet from any further threats. A new beginning. The Aegis hovered above the Earth's surface, casting a long shadow over the recovering planet. The defeat of the Xilari and the discovery of their hidden plans had left humanity and their new allies with a daunting task. But amidst the wreckage and the aftermath, there was hope. The battle was over, and it was time to focus on rebuilding and securing a future for Earth. Captain Ilara Kane stood on the bridge of the Aegis, looking out over the landscape. The once barren areas were beginning to show signs of life again, thanks to the combined efforts of human and Earthborn engineers who were working to restore the damaged ecosystems. The sun shone brightly, a symbol of the new beginning that lay ahead. "We've made great progress," Lieutenant Marcus said, joining Ilara. "The restoration teams are reporting that the environment is stabilizing faster than expected. The Earthborn are helping us more than we could have hoped." Ilara nodded. "It's a testament to their commitment and to the strength of our alliance. We've faced great challenges, but we've come out stronger." The information from the alien data vault had been crucial in addressing the biological weapon threat. Teams had successfully neutralized the weapon and ensured that it could no longer be activated. The immediate danger was over, but the work of recovery and rebuilding was just beginning. The Aegis descended to a secure location where a makeshift command center had been set up. Ilara and her team met with representatives from the Earthborn and human governments to discuss the next steps. The conference room was filled with maps, plans, and charts detailing the recovery efforts and future strategies. Maya, the Earthborn leader, addressed the gathered officials. "Our people have been working tirelessly alongside your teams. We've made significant strides in restoring Earth's ecosystems and ensuring that the planet can support life once more. Your help has been invaluable," Ilara said, standing next to Maya. "Together, we've achieved something remarkable, but there's still much work to be done." The meeting focused on coordinating efforts for long-term recovery. The Earthborn and human leaders discussed joint projects to repair infrastructure, rehabilitate wildlife, and address the environmental damage caused by the invasion. It was a massive undertaking, but the combined resources and expertise of both species made it possible. As the meeting concluded, Ilara took a moment to reflect on the journey. The alliance with the Earthborn had been unexpected, but it had proven crucial. The shared goals and mutual respect had forged a strong bond that would benefit both species. Later, Ilara and her team visited one of the recovery sites where Earthborn and human workers were busy planting trees and restoring habitats. The area, once a barren wasteland, was slowly transforming into a vibrant green space. "This is incredible," Marcus said, watching the workers. "Seeing the planet come back to life like this is amazing." Ilara smiled. "It's a reminder of what we can achieve when we work together. We've faced incredible challenges, but we've also proven that we can overcome them." As the weeks passed, the signs of recovery became more evident. The air was cleaner, the water clearer, and the wildlife began to return. The partnership between humans and Earthborn continued to strengthen, with both sides learning from each other and working towards a common goal. The Aegis remained a symbol of hope and unity, serving as a hub for coordination and communication between the various recovery teams. Ilara and her crew continued to monitor progress and ensure that the rebuilding efforts remained on track. One day, Ilara received a message from the Earthborn leadership. They had invited her and her team to a celebration marking the official end of the recovery phase. It was a moment to honor the achievements and look forward to the future. At the celebration, Ilara addressed the gathered crowd of humans and Earthborn. "Today, we celebrate not just the end of a long struggle, but the beginning of a new chapter. Our alliance has shown us that even in the darkest times, there is hope. Together, we've rebuilt what was lost and created a future where both our species can thrive." The crowd cheered, their faces filled with hope and determination. The partnership between humans and Earthborn had not only saved Earth, but had also set the stage for a prosperous future. As the festivities continued, Ilara stood with Maya and her team, looking out over the celebrations. The road to recovery had been challenging, but the new beginning promised a future filled with possibilities. The fight to save Earth had forged lasting bonds and demonstrated the power of unity and resilience. The new chapter was just beginning, and with their combined strength, humanity and the Earthborn were ready to face whatever the future held. Ilara felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she looked around at the vibrant, thriving world. The challenges had been great, but the triumph of their efforts marked the start of a new era, a time of hope, collaboration, and growth. As the sun set on the horizon, Ilara knew that the future was bright. The story of their struggle and victory would inspire generations to come, reminding them that even in the face of adversity, a new beginning was always possible.